Thanks for checking out Inside the Huddle with Three Rivers FCA. Here are your hosts, Andrew Hofer and Tom Sigel.
And welcome into Inside the Huddle with Three Rivers FCA. My name is Andrew Hofer. I'm the area director for Three Rivers FCA, joined by Tom Sigel, an ambassador for Three Rivers, and just really grateful to be able to welcome in Mya Strahm this week.
Yeah, we've kind of ventured out and getting a number of different guests, and it's been exciting as we took this on. I mean, we've had Lance Thurman, our state director. We've had Scott Porter, a pastor, a number of some coaches and athletes, assistant coaches. We've had spouses, and so getting a chance to get another perspective from Mya, who is at the University of Tennessee as a pole vaulter now, is something exciting. I think it's going to be interesting to get in and delve into some of her background and her thoughts.
Yeah, pole vaulting is such a unique sport. It's a very niche as far as who's participating in it. Even when you go to the local high school track and field meets, there's just not a lot of people involved in it. And Mya has shown to be very talented in the sport. And Mya is actually a Brimfield High School graduate where she participated in FCA and was on the track and field team down there before heading down to the University of Tennessee now, where she is finishing up indoor season, getting ready for outdoor season. And she brings a really good perspective this week on what her journey's been like, what her testimony is, and what it's like being a Division I athlete.
Oh, definitely. And like you said, my guess is why not many people do it is because it's really hard and a little bit scary. I wouldn't want to do it. So
I
excited
think
to.
give a little preview. We're going to ask her a tough question, and that's: is pole vaulting the hardest sport, maybe in track and field or just in general? But
Yeah, definitely.
I know that as nothing as something I don't want any part of as far as trying it.
Not me at all either. So we'll be right back after a quick little break and have Mya Strahm on from Brimfield High School and University of Tennessee.
And welcome back to Inside the Huddle with Three Rivers FCA. This week, we're honored to bring in Mya Strahm, who is a pole vaulter at the University of Tennessee, originally from Brimfield, where she pole vaulted down there. And Mya, thank you for hopping on with us. We appreciate you taking some time.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and we're excited. We're getting there. I think we've shown some improvement, so we'll try to be professional in asking questions and whatnot. But we know you're busy, and I think you mentioned like kind of just got out of practice a little bit ago, and the life of a college athlete, especially at the Division I level. But kind of along those lines, if you could kind of give us and the listeners a little background from your upbringing athletically and at Brimfield, and then your journey to ending up at the Division I level down in Tennessee.
Okay. So I've grown up playing sports my whole life, basically. Me and my brother both. We're always, out in the yard playing catch, doing whatever. So actually I started pole vaulting because my mom's one of her good friends was a pole vaulter at Indiana University and then Indiana State. And she was trying out for the Olympics, but she ended up getting injured. Anyways, she was a really good pole vaulter. And ever since like 6th grade, every time I saw her, she'd be like, "You just have the body of a pole vaulter. You just look like a pole vaulter. You should try it." Well, and I'm like, always like, "Mom, like, please, like, let me try it." But it's like, where do you even start? Like, it's such a niche little sport. And so finally, freshman year, I had convinced her. So we found a place in Bloomington, which is about an hour away from where I live. And it's like a little pole vault club. And I go there and I just showed up and I was so terrified. All the guys were jumping and they were jumping like 15 feet. And at the time I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's just crazy. So I started December of my freshman year pole vaulting. And ever since then, like I was just fell in love with it. And it was really a big commitment for my family to take because I have 4 other siblings, all very, busy life. And, My mom's like, maybe this is like a once a month thing that will drive you to. But at that time I was playing volleyball, and she's like, maybe, well, this is a once a month thing. We'll take you. And then my coach was like, no, like she's going to be really good. And so he basically convinced her to, let me do it. So I would drive there twice a week and practice. And then, like I said, I fell in love with it. I never had fallen in love with the sport like that, like volleyball and softball and soccer. I guess all the other sports I did, like I just go to practice. My parents would make me. I never really, wanted to go practice, wanted to be the best. And pole vault was just like that for me. And then about my end of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, I started taking visits to a bunch of different colleges like Alabama, Illinois, Arizona State, UNC, Tennessee, Kentucky, all my schools I was interested in. And Tennessee was actually my last visit. And when I came here, it was just like such, I just like knew, you know what I mean? It's definitely something I prayed about. And I remember my teammates, or when I visited, my teammates now, like talked about the FCA program and all the things that were really important to me. And it just kind of seemed like, okay, no other school, no other, girls had mentioned stuff about that. And it just kind of was like, okay, God definitely like opened my eyes to, where I was supposed to be, which was here. And it's been great here. My transition was really smooth. So I graduated high school early, my senior year. I graduated in December, and I jumped right in here, started competing and everything, and my transition was really smooth. So, yeah.
Hmm.
That's
Well,
great.
I
I
love
mean,
too. I know you had a lot of, great options at the Division I level, but I think it's also a lesson to be heard for the athletes coming out of high school on why you pick it and finding that right fit and that
Yeah.
that feel, and to, if hopefully they have a faith background, to lean on that too, because sometimes the decisions are driven by other motivating factors that tend to not work out as well. So
No, yeah.
kudos to you on going through that process.
Yeah. It's definitely, a lot of people get distracted by the facilities and the uniforms, or the gear and like the location, which all those things like do play a role, but at the end of the day, like that's not what will make you happy, or that's not what's gonna be the best for you, just because it's like rah rah and all the lights and stuff like that might not be the best fit for you at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love that perspective. And kind of changing gears a little bit on you. Uh, we talk all the time about how everyone's got such a unique and individual journey when it comes to their testimony. Can you share with us a little bit how you came into relationship with Christ? You talked about how important that aspect was when you were committing to Tennessee, but we'd love to hear about your testimony.
yeah. So I grew up in the AC church, which is, I don't know if you guys know, Apostolic Christian. Yeah. Up until, like, that's where all of, like, my childhood memories are, in that church. But up until second grade, which seems like I wouldn't remember a lot, but, like, I did. But, I grew up, going to Wednesday night church and obviously church on Sundays. But, and then we switched to non-denominational, and my parents always did a really good job of like bringing us to VBS and just centering our family's relationship around God. I remember we'd always do Bible studies every night and Bible stories, and just getting that basic like grounding, growing up. But once I got to college, it's like you really have to make a decision. Like, are you going to continue to follow God? Because it's so close, or it's so easy to fall out of it. And I know my parents, I always heard them saying that's people, and I was just kind of like, oh, like, I'll be fine. But it's like, you really have to make a decision for yourself. So right when I got here, I found a church the first Sunday, just so I could get in that routine of going to church every Sunday. And not that going to church is, what saves you, but like, it just, it gets in a good routine. And then, um, yeah, I think a lot of time I've struggled with a lot of injuries. I just had a bad fall. Just found out today I tore a few ligaments in my ankle, which is really frustrating. But besides the point, I've struggled with injuries a lot, and it's hard to be like, God, why? Or it's easy to, be like, God, why? Why is this happening to me? But I think at the end of the day, like, he really tries to put the focus on him. Like, I may be putting pole vault in front of him and using, like, I don't know how to word this. I guess just being so distracted in sport and in season when I'm, gone 5 days out of the week. And it's just really easy to forget to do my Bible study, forget to do this. And so I think, honestly, every time I get injured, it's God being like, you need to get back on track. You need to, like, get in the word because or because I'm, like, have fallen out of it. And it's just really eye-opening to see, I guess, that that's his way of using, um, or that's his way of bringing me closer to him, which is like injury, which seems backwards. But yeah, it's like right now I'm just like, God, I trust you completely. Like SECs is next weekend and I really wanted to compete there. I would be fighting for, first place, but I really trust in his plan because I know he has so much bigger and better for me. So
Well, I think you bring up a good point that sports are really inherently a good thing until they become almost like an idol where they're
right,
replacing the things that matter, especially when it comes to our faith journey. And when sports try to become number one above that, it's very, we're going to get humbled at some point. And
right.
well, I don't, whether it's through injury or whatever it might be, like, it's God's got a way of reminding us who's number one.
Right. Yeah.
So Maya, as you mentioned, I think you kind of went through it, but that connection between faith and sports. I mean, you've talked about it, like just leaning on that and through the difficult times. But are there other ways that you've kind of seen that? And we've also talked to other actually coaches and athletes about how that connection, we see more people on interviews or during games, um, in front of the media being more bold and speaking
Mhm.
out. And how have you seen that in your life, that connection between faith and your athletics?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I've seen the same thing where people are not as afraid to, speak on God and how much he's blessed them with their sport. Before meets, there's always one girl that will, so we have like a little huddle, in pole vault when the officials like going over the rules and whatnot, and there's always at least one girl that's like, okay, let's pray, and every girl from every team, so there's like 20 of us pole vaulters that start the meet out with a prayer,
Hmm.
and I think like that is really encouraging to like I don't know what everybody else is, where they're at in their faith, but I think it's really encouraging for everybody, especially me. Like the past two meets, it's just like they don't know how much I needed that. And, I have been the girl that has, done the prayers, but when someone else steps up, as well and beats me to it, like, it's really encouraging just to, know that I'm not the only one out there that's giving it my all for God.
Yeah. Well, I think it's impressive too, because in those circumstances you already mentioned, you wanted to compete this week and
Mhm.
you're trying to win SEC championship. And so after the prayer, I'm sure those 20 girls are all headed out like, okay, I want to beat every one of you now. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, no,
but
exactly.
there's that bond. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of what athletics is, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be cutthroat. And
Yeah.
so that's a cool story.
So, Maya, over the years, whether it's through different club sports, campus sports, or even now at the collegiate level, you've had a lot of different coaches,
Mhm.
a lot of people who've poured into you athletically. Can you talk to us about how important coaches have been in your own personal life?
Mhm. So, I failed to mention this, but a big reason why I chose Tennessee was for my coach. His coaching style really like spoke to me. He's a very knowledgeable coach, which I mean, granted, like it is a college program, but he is very positive, and I thrive in environments that are full of positivity. And it's I'm the person that like needs to show up to practice and like you can do it. You like I need words of affirmation basically. But growing up, like that's all how my coaches were. So that's something I try to look for in college. My club coach was very encouraging, very positive. My high school coaches, very encouraging, very positive. They coached me more on hurdles, not on, they knew that like they didn't know a lot about pole vault. So they were really, like, you go train pole vault 2 days a week, and then the other days of the week, like, we'll do sprints and that stuff. So they were really understanding, which is really helpful. Like, they could have been like, "No, I don't want you to train with another coach," you know? So that was really helpful, and it's just something I continue to look for in coaches, which that brought me here, and I'm really happy, so.
Hmm.
Yeah, we talk all the time about the importance of coaches. It's a huge part of our ministry, and about
Mhm,
how coaches, regardless, are going to have some sort of impact on the athletes, whether that's positive or negative. And then
mhm.
even if you add in a faith element, that's a whole nother level that
Right.
changes things too, beyond the knowledge and comprehension within the sport. So appreciate you hearing about your experience with your coaches. I know that it seems like, Tom, I know your experience with your sons too. It seems like relationship with coach is a huge motivating factor when picking a college.
Mhm.
Definitely, because I mean, especially after going through it, but, being a coach as well, you know how much you're together. So as a as a coach, how close you get to those players. So when you send your kids off, you know that, they're gonna be around, that coach gonna have a huge impact on them. So definitely a deciding factor. I had a couple questions. I thought your story about your background, how you just took off for Bloomington, basically, "Teach me how to pole vault," was, real intriguing. I mean, baseball or, some of the ones that my kids have been involved, volleyball, there's some background or you're going there if you're a beginner, pretty much everybody else is too. So that was interesting. And, whether it be tumbling or a pole vault or whatever, I've yet to find a purpose in life where my feet are above my head. I don't think that's a good thing for me. So, um, is pole vault the most difficult event in track and field?
I think so because I feel like I mean, I'm biased obviously, but I feel like a lot of people would agree. Like, not a lot of people want to do that and, not a lot of people can do it. So, I would say yes.
Well, there's definitely a danger element to it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if it
um,
makes you feel better, when I look at people pole vaulting, I'm like, there's no way I could do that. Just no way.
yep. And I've always like that's why I've always wondered too, like where do you kind of start? So you've experienced that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I remember when I showed up to the club, I I did a bunch of like how to hold the pool or the pole, how to walk with it. And then my coach was like, "Okay, now go do it." And I was just kind of like, "What?" And he's like, "Just go do it." And I'm like,
with the bar even?
"No, there's a bungee, so like it's
Oh,
loose."
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's how it started.
Hmm. So, kind of along those lines, share like your experience as a Division One athlete now. I mean, the academics and the travel and some of those things that you found maybe difficult or just an explanation of what you enjoy about it.
Okay. So, when I came in early last semester, I remember like always like looking up vlogs or YouTube videos like how hard is it, to manage athletics and um school. But last semester, or not last semester, last year I've actually always been on mainly online classes. So I have like one or two in-person classes each semester, which makes it easier because everything's like kind of on your own time. Um, but the transition honestly was really smooth. Thought it was gonna be worse, honestly, but it wasn't. It's manageable for people if I don't let's like, it is manageable. It's definitely rough at times. In season is the hardest part when I'm gone 5 days out of the week and, doing pre-meet stuff and, at the meet, watching my teammates or team dinners, like, that's the challenging part, but being online makes it a lot easier. But it's
Mhm.
also I tell everybody who is like, "Should I do sports in college?" If you're on the fence about it, you should at least, try to do it for a year. And if you don't like it, then you can just say you tried because you meet so many people, you get so many connections and it's just like a once in a lifetime opportunity opportunity that you won't get back.
Yeah. Sounds
So,
like discipline and some time management are important
yeah.
skills as well.
But we have lots of people to help us. Like, we have academic advisors where, they text you, come to my office and get your work done or something. And then obviously, we have people for mental health, we have trainers, we have everything that
Mm.
we need to succeed. So, excuses aren't really a thing here.
Uh, so as we get ready to close our time, one of the questions I always love to ask our athletes, we see a lot of people that are influential within sports in our current culture now that are being much more bolder in their faith than I think we have in previous times. And whether it be at the collegiate level and the professionals with whatever sport you might want to think, but I think especially at the college level, we've seen a lot of college athletes that are very open and bold in their faith. If you were talking to some of the younger kids right now, the junior hires and the high schoolers, that you might ever come in contact with, like what would your encouragement be for those young athletes in being bold in their faith? Because I think it does take some courage and it takes some strength to be able to do that and boldly proclaim like who you're competing for, who the glory for
Mhm.
is, or who the glory is for when you are competing in these sports.
It definitely, does take courage, but I would say, sorry, I'll restart that sentence. Okay. It definitely does take courage, but I would say, like, it could definitely be a domino effect in a positive, I don't know if that's in a positive way, because the girl next to you could be thinking the same thing, like, that she's nervous to, or she's scared she's gonna get, made fun of, or it's embarrassing, but, like, God gave you this gift, and the least you can do is glorify him and, give him all the glory, because if it wasn't for him, you would not be in that position, and the girl next to you could be thinking the same thing, and it could just take one person to share their faith, and then the next person, like, you never know who else is in the same situation as you. So,
Yeah, I think that's a good perspective. Not only a discipleship factor, but also an encouragement to other believers.
yeah.
Yeah. Shining your light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, one side question here before we close. We were talking about you and your experiences at Brimfield and your brother Jude before
Mhm.
you came on. Who is the better athlete in the Strahm household?
We've had this conversation many times, especially what's harder, baseball or pole vault, but I don't we are both good athletes. Like, we're both fast, we're both strong, we're both um but
I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
okay.
he is maybe all around a better athlete. Like, he can play any sport he wants and be good at it.
Here's the question. Could Jude pole vault right now?
No. No,
No.
because he does have a hurt foot. So,
Oh man. Could you
I
hit a
mean,
90-mile-an-hour fastball?
I think I could get contact on it.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Maybe.
Uh,
It might hurt
sounds
my
like
hands, but
it sounds like a good challenge next time
Yeah.
you guys are
But
both at
choosing
home.
him is a
So
good answer. So he should remember that when Christmas rolls around, you
yes.
for that present.
Yes,
uh,
facts.
uh, well, awesome.
No.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and for coming in and giving us a little perspective on your journey, both athletically and your testimony. And I know that I really love to hear about your journey down to UT and all of the experiences that come with being a pole vaulter. So appreciate you a lot.
Yes, thank you so much
Yep.
for asking me to do this.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully get healthy and
Yes.
wish you luck down the road.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll be praying for you to get healthy as you get ready for outdoor season here.
Yes, thank you, I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Maya.
Yes,
Yep.
bye.
Thanks again. Well, we appreciate Maya being on and really enjoyed the discussion. And I thought she shared some great perspectives, and especially when we talked about how difficult pole vaulting was, and just I was kind of floored by her start. Somebody just suggesting it, and she was willing to jump in, and parents able to take her down and just teach me how to pole vault. It's kind of crazy because it seems so difficult.
Yeah, you gotta imagine the time effort put in, by both her as the athlete and then mom and dad driving her back and forth down to Bloomington, took great lengths to get her to where she's at today.
Yeah, it's quite a commitment, and even like she mentioned, um, and I think like she said, her coaches admitted, "Hey, if you have somebody working with you, go ahead and do that 2 days a week. We don't feel comfortable doing it," and that's, a tribute to them knowing, where they stood in it, and, so it was quite a story. I also thought that toward the end, I think she talked about, speaking out and how, when she would speak out about her faith, that she understood that there might be somebody else who's a little uneasy and, worried about getting made fun of, and so that was one of the things she took responsibility for, and, also when the pole vaulters would pray beforehand, and she said when somebody else would step up and do it, first, just as a sophomore down there, really leaving a year early. She's only been there really just over a year at this point as a sophomore. Um, just took a lot of maturity and understanding and courage, to step out and be bold that way.
I think sometimes we get this thought process where being bold in your faith has to be this giant grand gesture type thing, and what she talked about was just doing the little things.
Mhm.
Being able to say a prayer with teammates or with even competitors, being able to encourage a teammate, to be open about their faith, and, those aren't these giant things that are, going to get a lot of publicity, but they're things that, show your identity. They're things that, glorify God and things that, um, again, are really just a testament to her being open and bold in her faith. And I think, the thing that I loved hearing about the most was that when she's a part of that, it gives others the opportunity to either, 1, be discipled and hear maybe some of those things for the first time, or 2, gives them the confidence and encouragement to do the same.
Mhm.
And so, it's just a very good perspective from her, and, not only about the why of it, but the importance of it too.
Yeah, and I think that that's, you know, in the mission of FCA too. I mean, with coaches, with our coaches huddle and, the outreach, opportunities that we have. It's just to share and hopefully expand and, shine that light that others can see and to like you said, discipleship, among each other without having to be, you know, Bible thumping or whatever people might say.
Yeah.
And within our coaches huddle that, you're on there every week as well that, we start out and sometimes we get into some deep discussions on things and share. But how many times even just the informal discussion and start sharing stories, I think have really opened up and made coaches feel more comfortable in being a part of things and the relationships that we've been able to build too. And I think that's kind of what you're saying that she's been able to do with other
Yeah.
athletes down there.
Well, and Jesus says in John that we're sent. We are sent, and what that means is a little bit different for all of us. We all have our places where we have influence, and for Maya, it's at school with her classmates and teammates, and for a lot of coaches, it's either at the school campus or wherever they might work, and it can be very simple, even with the person taking your order at McDonald's. Like we're all sent, and what are you doing with those opportunities with the people that you're coming in contact with every day?
Yep,
So,
definitely. And McDonald's is not a sponsor of the podcast yet, but
not yet.
we're trying. No, just kidding.
So, well, a couple reminders here as we close. We do have our coaches Bible study every Thursday morning. If you're able to join in person, that's up at the Welcome Inn in Milan at 6:30. And then if you can't, please reach out to one of us. We'd love to get you connected. We do have Zoom links that people are able to come in from all around the area because sometimes the logistics and timing can be tough.
We've got two that are in Florida now. and we're on
Yeah.
last week from Florida. So
Living the retired coach's life.
yep.
But yeah, we would love to invite you guys to that. And then we've talked about it before. If we could ever serve you and have a some sort of coach's Bible study or athlete's Bible study at your school, please reach out to us. We'd love to continue to serve you guys, our school campuses, and our different communities. And last but not least, but we have our upcoming golf outing, which registration just opened here this week. That'll be on June 1st at Oakwood Country Club. It's always a really good day, and the cause is being able to support young athletes from around the region going to FCA camps. We have so many that aren't able to afford to go to these camps in the summer, and just to be able to provide them the opportunity to go and have an impactful week athletically, but more importantly, spiritually is a big deal. So that's coming up. So please reach out if you're interested in being a part of that. We'd love to see as many golfers out there supporting our students as possible on June 1st.
Yeah, and the website is on the screen throughout the podcast here, as well as our emails as far as being able to reach out to us. But Dave Anderson, Three Rivers FCA golf outing named after Dave, former colleague here at Three Rivers FCA, is something special, and is at Oakwood Country Club, and as really continues to grow and do great things. And so hopefully, maybe you're interested in doing that. But as we close this episode, we want to kind of remind you that we're available on Spotify and YouTube, and to subscribe. So as new episodes are posted, you will get the notification and like those as well. I think that helps, and share it through social media. I think that we've had people from different areas be able to share it and get word out to others to be able to watch it as well. So thank you again for listening this week, and we're looking forward to our next episode. But for now, Andrew, great seeing you on the screen again, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Inside the Huddle with Three Rivers FCA.
Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Huddle with Three Rivers FCA. If you have ideas for content or interview suggestions, just reach out to Tom or Andrew. Thanks again for checking out Inside the Huddle with Three Rivers FCA.